Folks, Mike's Instant Movie Review. The film is titled Talk to Me. Let me get in the vehicle here. I wanted to show you the nice magic hour. That's what you call it when it's the dusk. Of course, there's assholes surrounding me now, so I wanted to speak outside, but all these fucks are coming around. So this was a horror movie, Regal Cinemas preview. First of all, should you see it, should you not? If you're a horror film fan, yes, go see it. Definitely something you want to add to your horror lineup for the summer of 2023 and beyond. If you are squeamish, if you don't like horror, don't see this one. This is not a blood and guts horror per se, but it's got enough disturbing images and disturbing thoughts, especially with teenagers and so forth, that some of you will probably not like. So if you're a horror fan, go see it. If you're not, not. Now we get into the show where I give some spoilers. So if you want to see this movie, I suggest go see it, but don't forget about me, your pal. Come back after you've seen Talk to Me, and we'll discuss. I'll fucking babble about it, and you fill in the blanks and leave comments. So, Australian. Now, for those of you that don't know, if you happen to have a Regal Cinema in your neighborhood, one Monday a month, apparently, they will be showing a movie well in advance of the movie's release. So last month, I think June 26th, I saw, it was titled Theater Camp, which I don't think has even come out yet, or if it just did, perhaps. And tonight, I saw, well in advance of it coming out, Talk to Me. And we saw a bunch of previews. See, the gimmick is you don't know what movie you're going to see. You just pay your $5 and then you see the movie, which is kind of fun. And the movie is a movie that's not been released yet, so you know you haven't seen it, okay? Unless you're a studio movie producer. Which, if you were that, you wouldn't be paying the $5 for this thing. So, in any event, I'm sitting there. There's like, 3 or 4 previews. Not too many previews, maybe 10 minutes worth instead of the 20 you normally get these days. And then these 2 gentlemen, looking like pretty young guys, 25 to 30 years old perhaps, and they basically say, hey, Regal Movie Fans, and they have like the Australian accent, which is kind of a cool accent. And they're basically saying, hey, welcome to our movie, and what's the mystery movie? It's our movie, Talk to Me. And, they're speaking Cockney or Australian or whatever the fuck it is. And there's some audible applause in the audience. So I guess a few people in the theater were horror film buffs or whatever the fucks, because a couple of people knew on this thing. Once the movie got started, I recognized the hand. Now, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, or if you've seen the previews. If not, there's like this little hand statue thing with all this writing on the fucking hand. And that's like our villain, okay? That's our totem for evil. How's that for a movie title? Totem for Evil. So we get going with this thing. And it's teenagers in Australia. And look, I've never been to Australia. One of my subscribers, Lawrence Laza, is a big Australian gentleman. He's from Brisbane. In any event, I don't mean to slaughter the name of your home city. I just don't know how to say it properly. But the teenagers are always going to do weird shit. And teenagers always have problems. They have a dead parent. They have a sibling that's fucked up. They have a weird friend. They're in some relationship. Their mother's oppressive. All the teenage shit that we're used to here in the States, jolly old, we get here in Brisbane or Australia or whatever the fuck they are. And then you add on top of it that some of these high school kids are basically doing voodoo. They're doing witchcraft. They're doing sorcery. They're inviting the evil spirits into their souls, and that comes with this hand, and the shit hits the fan. So what did this movie remind me of? Really, towards the end, I started seeing a lot of correlations with this movie, comparisons, I guess, and the movie Us, from maybe 6 or 7 years ago. What's interesting is that it was a Jordan Peele, right? He's the director of Us and Get Out and a couple of others, Nope. he's the same guy from Kay and Peele, right? That's the same guy, which I never really watched that show during its initial run, and I just kind of got into it later. First through YouTube clips, and then I would actually dig up episodes. Really funny show. It's a testimony to that gentleman, that he's able to, do such comedic wonders and works, and then come over and do horror so well. So kudos, a little tip of your cup. Kind of reminds me of myself. If you go over to One Man in a Camera Films, you can see my comedies, my stuff. One Man in a Camera Films here on YouTube, that's my stuff. Here on One Mike Messier, I just babble about films, and I do other life rants and so forth. So this movie, I liked it. It was scary, it was intense. The experience for me, like I said, it was kind of like Us. If you saw Us specifically, of the Jordan Peele cinematic releases, that's kind of like this. We're in the purgatory, and that's one of those deals where I wouldn't say this film, I wouldn't say it's terribly original. The basic theme of, we're stuck in between worlds, and there's the dead and the living, and then the in-betweeners, and then, here's a big spoiler, folks. Spoiler. At the end, and we've seen this kind of alluded to a few times, it's like, oh, these teenagers are actually, have they been dead the whole time? Or have their souls been crossed over into the dead? So it's not the most original fucking thing. We've seen this concept, Sixth Sense and all points in between, that you're following Us. It's really a lot like Us, the movie Us, not You and Me. But that whole concept of, oh shit, we thought we were the living ones, but maybe we're the dead ones for someone else. Or in this particular movie, when it ends, it's like now they're gonna, bring in other people into this sicko world, this purgatorious state. And so that's about it. So I don't really know what else to say. I enjoyed it. I really feel like it's almost, and I hate to fall into this trap, so kudos to these Australian filmmakers. I feel like this movie is just, setting up for a prequel. Notice I didn't say sequel. I said prequel, because the origins of the fucking hand are kind of explained, but not really shown. So, what this movie is really, the way that I felt about watching this thing, I'm like, what's happening here? They have another script that's like the origin story of this creepy fucking hand. And maybe they couldn't afford to make the origin story first, so they made this movie, which is like the hand in action. And we're just being set up for a prequel release of the fucking hand, the origins. And maybe that's going to be an even better movie. So I will stick with this. I do feel like this is not the last of Talk to Me. I think we're headed to 3 or 4 or 5 of these fucking things. And that's just the way of the world these days. You can't just make one fucking movie. I guess give credit to Jordan Peele again. Not to suck his fucking cock all night. But it seems like that guy just makes a movie and then he makes another movie. He doesn't make a franchise that you have to see 20 fucking movies, okay? So anyway, I thought it was good. I enjoyed myself. Interesting lineup at the theater. Last time I came a couple of weeks ago, there was a lot more people in the theater than tonight. But once again, it's just like you don't know what you're gonna see, so there's no way to judge the movie because you don't know what the fucking movie is, and that's the fun of it. I was a little surprised that they went hardcore horror on this thing. I'm pretty sure that this was an R-rated movie, so I don't know if they did not allow children to see the film or whatever the fuck. I really didn't look around the theater to see who else was in there, but this is what happened. I got the same seat I got last time, and I basically, the last time I went, there was so many people. I'm glad I got the seat that I got last time, but now it's like you have to reserve your fucking seat in advance. I got not the handicapped friend row, but the row right in front of the handicapped friend. And I think the same people that were ahead of, behind me last time were behind me this time. And they're a little bit of a chatty Cathy, chap, chap, chap. And the last time it wasn't so bad because it was a comedy. And they were just kind of chuckling and so forth. Maybe they were different people, I don't know. But tonight, they had a lot of like talking going on, and then it occurred to me, like, and I don't even know if this is true or I'm just making shit up in my head, because I didn't shush them. I didn't do the shush thing. I mean, 5 years ago I would have shushed the fuck out of them. I'm getting a little more patient with assholes now. But I thought perhaps it was a situation where one of the people was actually blind. You know, like, I'm trying to think, is there a politically correct term for blind, or can we still say blind? But sight impaired, okay? My apologies, or my forgiveness, or whatever the fuck. So I don't know if the person was sight impaired, and I really don't know if the person was sight impaired and the other person was kind of like narrating the action to that person. But then sometimes it just seemed like two fuckers who like to talk. You know what I mean? And it kind of got me irritated, because even when I go to the movies with other people, I don't fucking sit there and talk to them. You sit there, I'll sit here, we'll talk after the movie. I don't need to like have a cooperative brain with your ass. You know what I mean? Or your brain. Like, I can understand the movie on my own. I trust that you can do the same. We can compare notes after. We don't have to help each other understand the movie. Okay? So for all you fucks that go to movie theaters, unless you're the only people in the theater, or unless you're several rows away from other paying customers, learn some goddamn film etiquette. I mean, I'm not trying to be a fucking snob, but I mean, just give yourself a fucking rest. You don't need to listen to your fucking friend or your significant other or whoever the fuck is sitting next to you. You don't have to listen to them, and they don't have to listen to you for 2 hours. Both kindly shut the fuck up and let the movie do the talking, assholes. So don't talk to me, okay, in the fucking theater. Anyway, just a thought. Just a goddamn suggestion. So yeah, the movie was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it and so forth, and that's it. So whoever these two gentlemen were that made this movie, feel free to cast me in your next fucking film. I'll do a bang-up job. You know, horror, whatnot. As you know, I am a wonderful actor. And that's it. So yes, if you're a horror fan, talk to me. Put it on your C list. Do you need to see it in the theater? I think it could work at home. I always say most movies are better in the theater. This one, you know, here's the deal. Just being brutally honest, for the people at Regal Cinemas, they don't have the most, like, high-tech fucking screens or fucking audio, at least in this Regal Cinema. The seats are all kind of, like, standard, you know what I mean? Like, Regal, I like Regal. They're actually cheaper. You can, for $18.99, you can see all the movies a month, which also is a little bit of a lie, because they do charge you if something's up, you know, 3D, there's an upcharge, this, that, and the other, there's an upcharge. I don't think that these series of films is in the $18.99 a month plan. Like, I think you have to pay extra for that too. So, you know, I encourage people, if you have a Regal Cinema in your theater, give it a chance. Give the $18.99 a chance. I had it for 2 or 3 years and was very happy with it. But I just discovered that I was going to the movies too fucking much. So I have the AMC subscription. I have Regal, but I don't have Regal subscription anymore. I come kind of out of the nostalgia to the days that I used to come here all the time. It's still a nice theater. It does feel a little bit 80s or 90s, you know, as far as the screen and the sound. Sorry, just being honest. But still a good time. And the concessions here are a little bit cheaper than other theaters. And if you get the $18.99 month plan, you get the discount on your concessions. So, all good. So that's it, folks. I'm thinking about, I've been processing this in my mind for several days. There's been a lot of scams going on. There's always scams going on. Snake oil salesmen, etc. But a few people have reached out to me because they've been scammed, especially through situations online. I've been actually scammed. I've been the victim of 2 scams in the last 14 months or so. And I feel, you know, whenever you get scammed, there's a level of embarrassment and a level of anger. And you get mad at yourself. And you know, in a sense, yeah, because you don't want to make this mistake all the time. On the other hand, you know, it's the asshole scammers. So I'm going to do a video exposing some of these scam tactics and just telling you how to avoid them. So that's it. Subscribe to this. One pro wrestling and sports fan, one man in camera films, and one Mike Messier. Thanks. Good night.